Hey 7th graders, Mrs. Glenecke here. This tutorial is to get you started on how to create optical illusions using paint programs on the computer. This is your slide that you'll be inserting your completed illustrations on. You're only required to do 2 for your assignment. It's a pretty easy assignment this week, but I think some of you are going to really like it, so you may add up to 4 of them, but again, you only have to do 2, and I provided you 2 slides to place your homework on. On your page where your assignment is, you're going to click the free link or free paint program link. It's going to bring you to Paint Editor. It is free, so there's going to be ads on it. That's fine. Here's what your workstation looks like. You're going to have a toolbar, you have a menu bar, and you have a sidebar. Okay. You also have a color scale or a spectrum to choose from. In case you don't see your tools, all you have to do is go to View and check it. Sometimes we overclick things and we lose something. Don't freak out. It's all good. Just go back to View and then click what you need to see. Okay. The first thing we have to do today is to pick the thickness of our shapes or our lines. So you're going to click the straight line, and you have 5 options. To start off, we're going to pick the thickest one. After that, I don't care what you do, but for now we have to draw a border. So we're going to click the thick line. The next tool you need is the rectangle tool. There are 3 options. You'll have a rectangle that's just an outline, a rectangle with an outline and a fill color, and just a shape that has a fill. Pick the first one. We are going to click and drag a border, and I don't care if it doesn't go all the way to the white edge. Okay. The first demonstration is to get ourselves going with a grid. You want to make a vertical grid, and then we're going to save it, and then off that vertical grid you're going to make horizontal lines, so that you will have at least 2 grids to work from get-go. So you start your vertical lines with obviously a line. I'm going to make it a little thinner this time. And make sure you put your cursor at least in the thick black line or a little past it. To make sure your lines are totally vertical, Shift key and keep it down, and then just draw your line down to your black border or past it. Okay? If you don't, you're going to draw a line like this and you're going to get jagged, and it's fine if that's what you want, but not for the first one. Okay? So for time reasons, I'm going to push pause and insert. So here's a vertical grid that I've finished up beforehand. I varied the spaces so that it can maybe give you an illusion that it's starting to move on you a little bit. That's the whole point. You want my eyes to go bonkers. You want your eyes to go bonkers too. After you've saved your vertical grid, which I'm going to demonstrate now, we'll move on to the horizontal lines over it. So you go to File, Save As, and then it's going to download for most of us. Now, I learned last quarter it didn't work for everyone, but I'll tell you what to do after that. So you're going to click the picture. Okay, and go to Save As. So in the upper left, if you get this screen where it comes from your photos, you go to the ellipses, Save As, and then find where you want to put it. I'm putting my stuff on the desktop. I think students with Chromebooks, they let you do that. If they don't, you're going to have to figure out another place to put it. I don't have a Chromebook, so I can't know for certain. So I'm going to put mine on the desktop. I already made folders. You can make folders. I think that's a good idea, but you don't have to. You can see that I already saved it, so I'm not going to save it again, but I just wanted you to know that when you save pictures, it's a 2-step process. You're going to save it from your paint program, and you're also going to save it from the photos that pops up, because the first step really was just a download. All right. Now that I have my vertical made, and I'm going to go ahead and start my horizontal lines over it. So again, to make a perfectly horizontal line, Shift key, keep it down, drag your line. Okay, I'm going to go fast. Oops. So I accidentally lifted my finger off the Shift key, and that's what happened here. So if that happens, just undo. All right. I'm not going to do the whole thing. Then you would save as, and then go back and do the whole process. You've downloaded it, then from the download you go to the ellipses, you click Save As, and then you put it in your desktop, and then you can go back to Paint, and this will be open. The first thing I'm going to demonstrate is how to actually put shapes over your grid, and we'll do a flip-flop coloring thing, so it's kind of like a checkerboard, and it'll make our eyes go nuts. So to make a perfect circle, because I want to include shapes now in my grid, you do Shift key, keep it down, and oops, sorry, I didn't have circles selected. Shift key, and I don't like the line that thick, so I'm actually going to go and maybe make it skinnier. But again, if you want, and I like the rule of 3 in art. I prefer to do art that has an element repeated a couple times, but maybe not all the same size. Okay, so there's some circles against squares. If you want perfect squares, again, use Shift key, drag it. If you don't care, then you have rectangles. The other tool I want to show you how to do is the paintbrush. So maybe you want to draw the shape that's organic. Go slow. Whatever you do, make sure that your shape doesn't hit the edge of a line, but it overlaps the line. Okay. I'm going to do one part wrong eventually. Why isn't it doing that? Okay. And then I'm going to put a shape within a shape to show you how to do that too. All right. Once you've drawn what you want, you could save as, and then come back to it in color. For time reasons, I'm just going to go right to town in color. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, so if you click the magnifying glass, you can kind of double what you're looking at. What we want to do is create a picture that has a variety of shapes. Did I make one? I guess I did not. We're going to flip-flop colors. So you go to your paint can, and remember, op art is supposed to make your eyes bonkers. So I'm going to pick an obnoxiously bright color, and then I could contrast it with a dark color later. I'm not going to fill this whole thing, but I'm going to go fast and start filling in a couple rows at a time to show you how to flip-flop colors when there's a shape in the path. So notice that my shape is always within a space, but never touching a line by edge. Trust me, that's going to be a problem later. Oops, so I made a mistake. So it's every other one. So this is green, white, but then the gap the shape that's in the white gap has to turn to green. This cannot be green because colors cannot touch side by side. So I'm going to go back to undo. So that's green outside, this will be white, but then the shape inside is green. So it's just a checkerboard pattern. Okay. If this is white, then this top would be green. It's very fast. Okay. Do one more. So I'm starting the shape this time. This is white, green. You get the idea. So I'm going to finish this up over here. White, green, white, green. Okay. Down here, to do my pattern would be green, white, green. So this would be white. That means this blobby part will be green. But then the circle inside has to switch colors. So you can have shapes within shapes within shapes, but all those shapes keep turning colors back and forth because they can't touch. So if I accidentally made this green, the inside can't be the same thing. Okay. And then if this was, let's make it pink, pink, green, then the inside is pink. Okay, and then the stripe originally was pink, so now I have to go back and work out the background. Oops. So see what I'm saying? So now I can continue dumping color to finish up my grid. Or I could do a pattern. So maybe I do pink, and then I do orange, and then I go back to pink, and orange, and pink. So you can do as many colors as you want. So I would do orange here, that would be green, orange here, that would be green. If this is pink, then this would be green, so that means it's, but I'm just going to pretend that I just want to show you to get going. Oops, I hit the line, but I kind of like it, so I'm going to leave it. Hopefully that makes sense a little bit. I really don't want to make this demo very long. So I'm at the 11-minute mark. I'm only allowed 15 minutes with this recording program. So I could save it as whatever I want, but I don't want to. So I'm going to go to New. It's going to ask, do you want to get rid of it or save it? I want to get rid of it. Okay. The other things that you could do is you could do like a tunnel effect. So we're going to draw our border. Make sure the line is thick. We draw our border. Then I'm going to draw an X through the corners. Make sure you're actually in the black border or beyond. That one got off, but I don't care right now. Okay, now we have, if we want to make a pyramid, we have the top of the pyramid, or if we're doing a hallway, it's the back corner. So I'm going to go back to my line tool, or my shape tool, I mean, and then off these lines I just made, I'm going to draw rectangles. You can do as many or as few as you want. Remember, this is fast. You can make some complicated stuff, and if you don't love it, just don't save it. Alright, so again, that's one way you could do a hallway or something. You could do the same thing. Instead of doing squares, you can do circles. You can combine things. So I'm going to draw a circle. Okay, I could draw lines off that to make even more illusions. Whatever. Sky's the limit, and then you can dump color in as much as you want. The last thing I want to show you in this demonstration is how to actually get the pictures into your project. So you're going to go to Insert, Image, Upload from your computer, most likely. And then find your project. So let's pretend that's the one I want. Open. And you see that there's junk down here. So you can crop it out in your toolbar up here. There's like zigzaggies overlapping. Just drag that all the way up to your shape. Oops. Make sure you actually get it as very close. Oh, I know it was wrong. Alright, so now I'm going to try to fit it into the square. If you don't want to change it to a square, you can leave it as a rectangle. But I don't mind that it's going to be a square, so I'm going to fill up that pre-made square. You can leave it the way the original shape is. I don't care if there's gaps behind it. Just make it big as possible, but if you want to change it to fill that border nice, you can. Okay. So that's what you'll do. You'll do 4 illustrations or 2. Alright, that's pretty much it. I hope it made sense. I really don't want to be a YouTuber when I grow up, so I'm sure that this was not the world's best tutorial online, but hopefully it's good enough to help you get going. Alright, have fun with this project. I look forward to seeing your drawings. All right, have a good one.